If you stand aimlessly at the phone booth on a rainy day and meet a man whose face is covered by a violet umbrella, I'd suggest that you get close to the TV. Finally, stump you?
Oh yeah, is it the movie Phone Booth?
No, it's not. Let me see if I can read any other quotes from this said film to kind of bring you into the mix here. Because I did pick a pretty obscure one to hopefully get you off track. Here's one. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Weep and you weep alone.
Yeah, no clue, brother.
Still not getting there? Okay. This one might. Where is it? I know there's a bunch of the ones back in here. Oh, if by any chance Mido should find out the truth, you son of a bitch, I'm going to rip you limb from limb.
If who? Mido?
Mido. Mido? And your remains will never be found. Why? Because I'm going to swallow every last bit. It's been a long day for Joey.
Brother, I have no earthly clue.
These are a bunch of old boy quotes.
Oh, oh, this the last one should have given it away, but especially seeing it hasn't been that long since I watched it. But especially since I read those and don't listen to them,
Oh. Yeah, that makes it a little
you
tricky.
know, yeah, because subs over dubs, fam.
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
Nobody had you feeling. Spirit is something. I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 14, we're up to now, of the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast. This is Justin.
And I'm Joey.
Tonight we have the attack of the 90-minute movies as we take on John Carpenter's The Fog and James Mangold's Identity.
And heads up, as always, we are going to discuss our full thoughts on these films. So if you haven't seen them and don't want to have any spoilers, please do move ahead.
Yeah, lots of spoilers tonight. So if you hadn't seen these shows and you care, then don't listen to that part of the talk. And if you want to be a part of the Movie Club cast, just hit subscribe button, that subscribe button on YouTube, or follow us there on the Buzz Sprout. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. How you been, Joey?
Oh man, it's been kind of crazy since the last time we did an episode. We did that
It's a brand new year.
end of year special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
On
we did
New
the
Year's.
end of the year special. Yeah, on New Year's. But now I am job hunting pretty hard. I got an interview on Wednesday, so we're recording on Monday, so 2 days from now. And then we've got the NFL playoffs going on.
Mm-hmm. 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 Is that game on already? I'm tracking the score for that. Rams and Cardinals, right?
Cardinals. Yeah, two of the three teams from that division that got in. Hopefully, I'm okay with either one of those teams winning, but I would like to see Matt Stafford get one, so everyone can stop talking about how he's a shitty quarterback, and he's only produced two of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time, so he must be doing okay. And just a handful of people with 5,000 yards in a season You discount Drew Brees doing it 100 times.
Well, they're winning 14-0, so it's looking good for them. The Cardinals kind of seem like they've been skidding in the last half of the season.
Well, I mean, they've had a bunch of the Kyler was hurt or in the COVID protocol, and then DeAndre Hopkins was hurt, and then AJ Green was hurt, and they just had people hurt or on protocol all the time, it seems.
Yeah,
So
been a crazy NFL
yeah,
couple years for all that.
yeah, but yeah. You had New England get the brakes beat off them up in Buffalo, which was good to see.
Yeah.
Had the crazy ending to the Dallas San Francisco game.
Mhm,
You had the Eagles get their ass cut, the Steelers get their ass cut.
mhm.
So, just mostly good times all around over the weekend for the playoffs.
Yeah. And quite the movie accomplishment. I finally finished all of the Best Picture winners. My last one was Gigi, so I'll be talking about that more coming up. But yeah, that's kind of a cool thing to get off my plate. That me and Adam's Movie Club, we had been watching those over the last year or so, and so I watched a handful of them, and now we'll just be watching the ones that he has left that I haven't reviewed. I made a new letterbox list for that. So yeah, the next chapter of that pursuit. Have all the Oscar winners reviewed.
Nice. I am way behind you on that front, friend.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So,
old ones. I think there's 90 some movies. So, but I mean, I watched a lot of them in high school, so it's been a long time in the works. This week kind of feels like we've been snowbound. On Friday, I found out that one of my sons had COVID, so we've been pretty much isolated in the house. And yeah, on Thursday we had a really good movie night. We watched The Thing and Fargo back to back. As our
that's a hell of a that is a hell of a movie night, and I wish that's what we were discussing instead of what we're discussing now. But
yeah, that was quite
um,
enjoyable with it being winter time and watching those two snowbound movies.
and unfortunately, we didn't. At least here in Florence, and I assume you down in Charleston didn't get any snow either.
Nope.
Just a bunch of I didn't even really where I'm at. I know other parts of Florence got ice, but I just had just rain all day, just rain and wind. Never lost power, thankfully.
Hmm.
Um, they're calling for potential snow this coming Friday. So
Yeah, we're here in Wintery Mix, so we did have some camping planned for the coming weekend, but seems like it'll be in the 20s and all that's getting canceled. So unfortunate, but probably necessary. My oldest son's going to be turning 10 here coming up soon, so make sure he's healthy for that. And he is all about, and he's having a Mario Odyssey party, and he's all about the speed running. It seems like every day he's starting a new Mario Odyssey speed run. So he has quite the addiction to that Mario game.
that's how you get good at speed runs is doing them over and over and over and over. So
Hmm. I had the kind of an epiphany. He was showing me how to play it, and that game has kind of a Legend of Zelda feel to it, um, which I was kind of interesting to see. I guess it's mostly because of the open world concept instead of like going into levels. Um, so I'm still kind of coming
but
around
they've
on it.
been
I know how to play 64, so I always probably would feel more comfortable with that one, but he's trying to chip away at my bias.
I hear you. Yeah, that one's interesting because of Cappy and some other stuff. But as I haven't had a Switch in a long time, and when I did have a Switch, I wasn't playing Mario, so I was playing Tetris because I was addicted. So
Tetris, like the traditional?
it was Tetris 99, so it was the Tetris Battle Royal
Oh.
where you played against other people. But I mean, it is still just Tetris. Like you just have other people that can fuck with you, and you can fuck with other people, kind of thing.
So you restarted watching your favorite show?
I did restart Buffy the other day. I don't really know why. I'd been thinking about doing it for a while, and then I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And I finished the first season in like 2 sittings. I mean, it's only 12 episodes.
Hmm.
Um, and I haven't started season 2 yet, but it's been, the playoffs. We had to watch the movies for this. Um, I played Magic Online through Spell Table with some buddies another night. So it's just I haven't got around to starting season 2, but soon enough.
Okay. And
So
yeah, I still need to listen to your Christmas episodes of Schlock Talk, but last week I posted the Max finally came on. I've always wanted to watch that, so it was fun getting to meet him.
So, speaking of Schlock Talk, so I do have an episode ready for January. I just haven't, with so much going on with my job, and I'm not going to get into all the particulars of it here, but
Mhm.
needless to say, it's put some undue stress on me, um, just normally and financially.
Mhm.
So I just haven't felt like editing, so I haven't edited that episode. So I know I've been keeping a pretty tight schedule, so I apologize for not getting that kept up. And until my job situation gets straightened out, we might not see as much stuff on Buzzsprout, which then puts it on like Spotify and stuff. It might just be on YouTube for a little bit. So if that happens, guys, I apologize, but we'll get it straightened out hopefully sooner rather than later.
Life comes first. Life before podcasting.
Yes. So,
All right, let's get into this the movie trivia stuff, huh?
yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm not. You probably don't have any idea what my game is here, but I have
Am I playing like 7 degrees of separation?
not quite. I'm going to name three movies, and you're going to tell me which one is 90 minutes or under.
Ooh.
Okay, so which one of these is 90 minutes or under? Doctor Strangelove, A Night at the Roxbury, or 12 Angry Men?
Doctor Strangelove.
The first one is Night at the Roxbury.
Okay, so that one seemed a little too obvious. And to be fair, I haven't seen A Night at the Roxbury,
Mhm.
but it seemed like that was just too obvious. And I remember Doctor Strangelove, I felt like I remembered it not being super long.
Yeah, the rest of them are between like 90 and 100 minutes, so don't feel bad if you get some of these wrong because they're all quite short to make it more challenging.
All right, so for this one, is that the anime or the live action movie with ScarJo?
That's the anime. So Ghost in the Shell, The Reservoir Dogs, or Life of Brian from Monty Python.
Hmm. I haven't. Oh, I have seen I've seen all three of those. Oh, I mean, shit. Reservoir Dogs. I mean, I got to go with it, even if it's wrong.
It is Ghost in the Shell. Is under the 90 minutes.
All right.
And finally, my last one. Wall-E, My Neighbor Totoro, or The Seventh Seal.
I've not seen any of these, but I'm gonna go with the Seventh Seal because we kind of brought it up in conversation earlier today.
Oh, yeah. I thought you might notice that. But it's My Neighbor Totoro, which you haven't seen Totoro?
No, I haven't seen any of those three movies.
Oh, wow. No Wall-E either. I mean, Wall-E's quite overrated, so I won't give you crap on that one. But so, what you got for me?
All right. What is the Average Joe's Movie Club cast most watched episode that debuted in 2021 on YouTube specifically?
Is it the Knives Out one?
It is the Knives Out one.
I was just
That is
staring at
correct.
that a couple days ago. So, let's do recency
Well, yeah,
bias.
with 2014 views. That was the first one we put out last year. So, all right, number 2.
Mhm.
What is our most watched video to date? Period on YouTube.
And that is the what's it called? It's the Rachel Weisz movie.
Yeah, Disobedience and Gangster Squad.
Gangster Squad's in that one. Huh.
Yes. For a long time it was like My Name is Kevin. That is like firmly number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was number 1 and it has over 7,000 views, 7,882.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one which I forgot, which I had pulled up before we had the technical difficulties and I had to restart. That had like 6,000. And then
He Got Game was up there for.
yeah, that's it. It's He Got Game. and he got game into My Name Is Kevin, which for the longest time, or We Need to Talk About Kevin,
Mhm.
was the hotness for us. Oh God. All right. I didn't think this through very well, and I put
Excuse me.
okay something. All right, back. All right, just don't look in the script. I'm gonna have to undo all of these
Okay.
because they went wonky.
I'll shut my eyes.
All right. So in the year 2003,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
where did Kill Bill rank in the worldwide box office between 1 and 50? Bonus if you can tell me how much money it made within 10 million at the worldwide box office.
Oh, wow, that's tough. Okay. So, looking at 2003 retrospectively, where did it rank?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Worldwide, like
six?
in money. Ooh, sixth. Oddly enough, is not correct.
Okay.
It was 27th in the worldwide box office, which was it was about 38 or 39 domestically, so it did move up greatly from overseas money. And then
Mhm.
want to take a stab at how much money it made?
Ooh, how about 70 million?
That is not probably far off for what it made in America,
Mm-hmm.
but it made $180.9 million in the worldwide box office.
Solid. Solid.
All right. And then lastly but not least, what movie did our friend and brother Jake Knight
Mm-hmm.
lend me for class freshman year of college?
Heard the story many times. It's American Beauty, right?
That is correct. Now, follow up, because I figured that would be easy.
Okay.
Do you know how well it did at the worldwide box office upon its release in 1999?
Um, I, it's a little more on the artsy side, but it won Best Picture, so
It made a lot of money, like a lot of money.
okay.
Uh,
Let's.
Nowadays, it'd probably be say it's like a flop, but it made a lot of money.
So I'm saying how it ranked first, and then I say the how much money.
Either one, if you want.
I'll say it ranked 12th.
That's close. It was actually sixth, which is why I laughed at first, the first guess.
Okay. And how much money did it make? It made 200 million.
More than that, it made $356.3 million worldwide against a $15 million budget.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
Bang,
it
bang.
balled out. And bonus, because it just happened to find this out,
Mm-hmm.
it came really close to getting all five of the big awards at Oscar. It got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay, and it got Best Cinematography, but it did not get Best Actress.
Okay.
So, but these were all about you and I, some way, somehow. Even I guess American Beauty really wasn't, but um, I couldn't come up with anything super great for Boondock Saints. Although I found out that movie really tanked at the box office.
I believe it. Rated
It
R.
had a $7 million budget and it made $30,000.
Mhm.
But it made all of its movie on like VHS and DVD sales.
Oh
So
yeah, that was a cult classic for sure. All right, let's get
yes.
into what else we've been watching in the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, I have the icky, the glorious, and the ugly.
I have Over the Top, Classic, and Game of Thrones. Is that you?
All right, which one do you want to hear about first?
Let's go with Bobby Roode himself. Glorious.
So last night I popped on Joel Cohen's new movie, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and I did not know what to expect with this movie. And it was done in the style of like a black and white 4 by 3 Shakespeare adaptation, similar to maybe like Laurence Olivier's Hamlet or Orson Welles' Othello. And it takes all the greatness from those and puts a whole lot of energy in it with some great performance from like Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand. And there's some artsy elements there because like you tell me, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Macbeth story, but there's supposed to be 3 witches, but they kind of do some kind of fun camera work to kind of insinuate 3 witches, even though it's only one kind of crazy person there. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff there. It reminded, I mean, Polanski did a version of Macbeth, which it reminded me of. Kurosawa did a version of Macbeth, which it reminded me of. So overall, I've always been a big fan of this Mad King of Scotland, and I was in quite movie bliss watching this play out on my screen last night, thanks to Apple TV.
I have some interest in watching it, because it's a Cohen movie. I'm not a huge Shakespeare person.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and like Throne of Blood is one of my. I think it's on the lower end of the Kurosawa movies, but I do need to like. I feel like I need to rewatch it.
Hmm.
I say it's on the lower end. It's give it like 4 stars. It doesn't make bad movies, but
Right.
so I'm interested to watch it. When we were talking about off cast earlier today, you mentioned some stuff that might would deter me, but like or not deter me, but give me apprehension. But I'm still very interested in seeing it.
Yeah, it kind of had a Bergman feel to it as well. Well, more of a look to it. But I've watched a lot of Shakespeare adaptations over the last couple of years, and those are tough. Um, and you kind of just get used to like just understanding the basic story of what's happening by like checking out YouTube and then like all the flowery language. You just kind of take it in, not necessarily follow it. So yeah, there's some tricks there to appreciating old Billy Shakespeare a little easier. Okay, what is I'm curious what this Game of Thrones is all about.
All right, Game of Thrones, is that you? Actually has nothing to do with how the movie is presented. It's more
Hmm. Hmm.
to do with who is in the movie.
Okay.
And that is Eternals.
Yeah.
So one, you have a character. Your main female lead is named Cersei. It's not
Hmm.
Cersei Lannister, but it is Cersei. And then I don't know. You got Robb Stark and Jon Snow in the movie. Um, I thought it was a fun time. I don't see where all the hate comes from on this movie. Like, was it the best thing I've ever seen? No, but I had a fun time watching it. I thought they did some cool stuff. I did some good character development. Um, and showed these characters, even though they're human or not human, but are humanoid, but they're these heroes and they're all powerful, but they're all flawed in their own way and have all their own issues and things that drive them and whatnot. So I think that was very interesting. The after credit scene was good, even if I did have to we had to look up a little bit of stuff about it, but yeah.
Oh, that has to do with Black Knight or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah, the
Blade,
sword
I
the
think,
sword is
kind
Black
of
Knight, and
mix.
then the voice, which Carl was like, that's Sam Jackson. I was like, I don't know if that was Sam Jackson, and it Marshall
Mahershala
Ali
Ali.
Marshala,
Yeah.
yeah. Blade, the new Blade. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I think people just like to hate on stuff that's different, and I thought this kind of had kind of a different feel for a Marvel movie, and I thought it was pretty good. Wasn't the
yeah,
best, wasn't the worst. Kind of in
yeah. No,
between.
I enjoyed it. I would, like I said, I wouldn't go so far as some people. Like I saw someone putting it as like their fourth or fifth best Marvel movie, and then other people are like it's the worst. Putting it under Norton's Hulk or Thor: Dark World, and I'm just like, I think that's like you're entitled to that opinion, but I don't think that's accurate. So, all right,
Okay.
what is your ugly?
Ugly. Matrix 4 Resurrections, I
Mm.
guess. Um, yeah, I did not like this movie. It started out weird and then it just got bad. Like special effects, kind of bad. Story, didn't really care. Kind of forgetting what it's about now. they recast a bunch of characters, but instead of letting them just kind of hold their own as recasted characters, we keep seeing background flashes of the old movies to remind us that we like this movie, but I sure as heck didn't. A lot of my biggest problems with the original Matrix is that love story between Trinity and Neo, which I think gets quite cheesy towards the end. And I think people who love that might enjoy this more than I did, but I certainly did not because it starts out meta and then just gets hacky, in my
So,
personal opinion.
so for people who have been listening to this podcast for a long time, one of the things you've probably heard me talk about with Justin is Justin will get on here and like fucking rip a movie, whether it's in the good, the bad, and the ugly, or one of our featured movies, and it'll be like, this sucked, and this was the worst shit I've ever seen. Maybe not to that degree, but you get my point. He's like, this movie was bad, blah blah blah. I'll give it a 3.5, and I'm like, off of what? Off of what? No, no, no. You know this movie is garbage. He gave it like 1.5 stars. I fucking freaked out and was like, wait, is this Justin? Has he been kidnapped? It's like, oh, no, that's just how bad this movie is. And we have been apprehensive about watching it because all I've
Mhm.
heard is mixed stuff. And I know you and I don't always agree on things, but for you to give it not, oh, I'm gonna go below 3 and give it a 2.5, like average, or a
Mhm.
2, no, a straight 1.5, like, mm, I just haven't brought myself to watch it yet.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're talking about like Jungle Cruise and stuff, where I'll poke at all the things I think that are. I mean, some of these movies just have to have something to talk about, and so like I didn't hate Jungle Cruise, but there's a lot to poke fun at about it. So like, I mean, I'll list all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I didn't hate it, so it won't go under a 3. But Matrix was giving me a headache, and it wasn't good, and it wasn't satisfying. So there. Yeah.
Fair.
What's a classic for you?
I bet you can guess what this is, Justin, because you messaged me about this movie.
I did.
Uh-huh, yeah, it's about the
Some like it
director.
hot.
It is Some Like It Hot. Boy, boy,
Yeah, it's a good
howdy.
movie.
Yeah,
It's a real good
so
movie. I like that movie.
after we watched the other Billy
7 Year
Wilder movie,
Itch.
yeah, 7 Year Itch with directed by Billy Wilder and Marilyn Monroe.
Yep, yep.
Me and the roommate just decided to watch Some Like It Hot. And
Mhm.
boy, that is a hell of a movie. It
Yes,
is
it is.
hilarious. Like, you would think maybe some of the jokes and stuff haven't aged well. No, the joke they're still great. It ends on a great joke. It's wonderfully
Mhm.
shot, great dialogue. Marilyn Monroe is fantastic in this movie. Like she knew what she was doing. She knew what you were there for. She knew how to play it up. Um, like, yeah, no, that movie, um, it's going to take a lot to dethrone that probably like it's the top movie now, and it's going to take a lot to dethrone it, I think, going
Yeah.
forward.
Plus, there's some gangster violence stuff in there for you too. Yeah.
Oh
Spice
yeah,
it up.
yeah, there was some of that too. I wasn't even
Like the
really.
Saint Valentine Massacre or something is kind of woven into that film.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is, and but no, it's just so hilarious and it's so good. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, and like I have the Criterion, so I have a great restoration of it. It is fantastic. I cannot recommend that enough.
No one's perfect.
You right. All right. Give me the icky shuffle, baby.
All right. So Gigi, I was warned that this is a little icky movie, and they're not wrong. I
What
know
movie?
Gigi.
Gigi?
Yeah, I think it's the 1958 Best Picture winner. It's a musical. It starts off with this French guy with a big old smile singing "Thank Heaven for Little Girls." And oh my gosh, this movie is about admiring little girls and then thinking about how they'll grow up to be mistresses for wealthy men. So messed up. and how did this movie win Best Picture? And oh gosh, this main male love interest is like, oh, I'm so bored with life. Oh, Gigi, you inspire me. And he refers to her as a little girl, and apparently he's been like visiting her and been giving her caramels like for years, I think. And so he's like grooming her to be his mistress one day. And this movie is so screwed up, and it's presented in a lolly jolly musical fashion. It's so strange, so
So
strange.
so was it supposed to be
I thought
showing?
this was going to be a satire. Like, I'm not sure if that's where you're going, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Is it supposed
the
to be
same
a
people who did this one did My Fair Lady, and My Fair Lady is very um, misogynist, but in kind of a smart, clever way. Whereas I thought this was going to be pedophilic and maybe some satirical, but I didn't see any satirical cards in this deck, and it was just kind of played straight, and it's very awkward, I guess. And then there's a part where they're like joking about this like aristocrat who like breaks up with this his former mistress and she attempts suicide, and they like joke about that. I'm like, in what century did people enjoy this film? It was the late 50s. It just boggles my mind.
I mean I
Gigi.
mean that in reality, the late 50s, it's not that long ago, but in where we've come socially and in what is acceptable and everything, it is miles and miles apart different. Like that movie, and clearly in 1958, that subject matter didn't bat an eye, unless there was some joke in there that you just, I don't want to say joke, but satire or something that was just missed. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it just,
Mm.
you're right. That is very icky, and I don't have really any desire to see that. Um,
Yeah, it just happened to be the last one on my list, and the poster had always kind of like, hey, that looks kind of interesting. And I like to give things the benefit of a doubt, but there was just no way around it. And I'm pretty good at spotting, movies that are, poking fun of something. And this just kind of seemed like it was a straight up, I mean, unless it's making fun of the French for being like this promiscuous type people that don't marry and instead have
um,
mistresses. And
Now it
yeah.
was made in 1958. Was it set in the 50s or was it set like in colonial style,
It's like a horse and
imperial
carriage.
times? There's where it goes. Say what?
Yeah, it's like horse and carriage era in Paris. So
I
the
mean, I
people
guess
are
like,
like,
I mean that
mhm,
was also at a at a time where I think that was definitely, which was definitely more accepted. It's just not straight up accepted. You
mhm,
people tried to marry their young daughters off, especially to aristocrats or something
mhm.
like that. So I mean, it's very
But the
cringy
messed
to.
up thing is, it's like there's actually the movie tries to redeem itself because Gigi is groomed to be basically a mistress slash prostitute for this guy,
Oh Lord.
and the arc of the movie is instead of them like continuing this like mistress relationship, they decide to get married because that's so much better after he's been grooming her entire life with treats.
Well, yeah, and I think what we know about history and things of like that. That was definitely a thing that was done, especially if you were poor or not as
Mhm,
well off. That was how to class hop and those kind of things. And obviously now that's, as it should be, very very frowned upon.
mhm.
So yeah, that's just crazy to think about. Like I said, I'm good on watching that one. So thanks, Justin, for telling me that I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I would not. I mean, unless you got to see it to believe it. I guess that I'll leave it at that. What's over the top?
Over the top, I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. I got two movies here because they're kind of the same.
That's a Stallone movie, right? That's about arm wrestling. Over the
Yes, that
top.
Over the Top is a Stallone movie, but I'm actually talking about Mission Impossible 4, which is Ghost Protocol,
Uh-huh.
and Daniel Craig Bond 3 Skyfall. Um,
Yeah, I saw you guys were loving on that one.
yeah, I mean, we'd both already seen Skyfall, but Carl hasn't
Hmm.
seen Spectre, so we were like, well, we'll rewatch Skyfall so we can watch Spectre, so we can watch No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Um, And I've got the MI box set, and we've just been very slowly moving through it, like one a year. And I'm just like, let's just bang these out and get this over with. Actually, I was sitting there going, I think Ghost Protocol is more over the top, but at the same time, like Skyfall's pretty over the top too. So Ghost Protocol starts out and Tom Cruise is like on top of a bomb in Russia and just lives, and then Skyfall, Bond like jumps over he flips a motorbike over a bridge so he can land on a train, gets shot while he uses a crane to open up the train and walk across, and then gets shot and falls off in like a million feet of water, like so dead. But Skyfall is so good. I mean, Javier Bardem is such a good villain.
Yeah.
Between that and No Country, like I just don't ever want to ever see him be a good guy. It's just weird. And I think I mean, I don't know
Plays
who
Ricky Ricardo in a new movie this year, which is
I
kind of
thought it was a
strange.
TV show with isn't that a TV show on Prime with him and Nicole Kidman in the movie about
She was nominated for Best Actress, so I'm guessing it's a movie, Being the Ricardos.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a TV show, but okay. But yeah, no, I think this version, the Daniel Craig Bonds, have some of the best villains with Mads Mikkelsen and then Javier Bardem and Mads Mikkelsen, who I said, and then Christoph Waltz is the one I'm trying to think of. Christoph Waltz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know who it is in 5, in No Time to Die, and I don't remember who it is in 2. But two has got that problem where it's a fine Bond movie, but it's just sandwiched in between all these other ones that are so much better. And then Ghost Protocol is just a crazy ass action movie. Like at one point, he's running down the side of the largest building in the world with like a hose tied to him or something stupid. Yeah, it's
like repelling gear, not climbing gears.
No. The repelling gear, because he was using these gloves and they broke, and so for him to get back down, he just tied he just almost like in Die Hard tied like a hose around him and just was running down the side of the building, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? But they were both fun and definitely worth watching if you haven't seen them somehow. So
It's interesting because you talking about Ghost Protocol, like a lot of like the Rogue Nation was flashing through my head. So yeah, we did a watch of all those movies heading into Fallout, and man, Fallout was good. So,
yeah, from my understanding, 5 and 6 are both like slamming good, and I got that box set like for dirt cheap. Once we had already watched like 1 and 2, and I came across the Blu-ray box set, like $10, $20 or something. I don't remember. So it was when I wasn't hurting for money, and so I could just throw money away on Blu-rays like it was nothing. So
okay, let's talk about our featured movies. First one came from my 80s category. You picked The Fog from 1980, which is a supernatural horror film from John Carpenter. He also co-wrote the screenplay and did the music, which was very apparent and I enjoyed. Tells the story of a strange glowing fog that sweeps over a small coastal town in California, bringing with it vengeful ghosts of mariners who were killed in a shipwreck there 100 years before. Yeah, so this was kind of a low budget feature. Kind of while I was watching. Have you seen The Blob with Steve McQueen yet?
I have not. It is actually on. Like I actually have a Steve McQueen list, and it's on there, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, this very much felt like what The Blob was doing, just I guess Carpenter doing his own version of it, and kind of it's not a blob, it's a fog, and slasher ghosts come out of it essentially. So what was your overall thoughts on this one? I guess you didn't care for it too much.
Yeah. So I mean, the majority of the movie, I was very uninterested. I couldn't pay attention. I just did not care. And then I mean, I think I probably should have taken a little bit of break. We watched Identity first, and then we watched this because I was like, oh, we'll watch the better movie second. because it's John Carpenter. It's like early
Yeah.
John Carpenter where he's like at his most powerful. So I was pretty stoked going into it, and I don't know, I just was very uninterested from the beginning. It just didn't do anything for me. Like I honestly, like I'm sitting here reading over your notes, and like I don't even really remember much of any of this that you're
Oh
have
my.
down, just like at all.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to talk about then. I was kind of annoyed at how dark it is. I guess that's like meant to make it more atmospheric with it being like this empty town or whatever. But yeah, it just kind of ends up being too dark a lot of the time. And I was kind of hoping like this was gonna all take place in like one night kind of deal. But like it's a little bit on one night and then it's on the next night. Yeah, so the movie we get kind of a ghost story being told, which this whole thing is a ghost story. So that's kind of a nice setup with this old mariner guy telling these kids on the beach the story of these people that died in a ship crash, I believe, something like that. Um, while the town is empty, which probably saved quite a bit on making the movie's budget. It's quite lively over the radio because we have this lady who I think what she broadcasts from 6 to 1, which she calls it the witching hour, but I thought the witching hours was like 3 a.m. So I was really kind of taken
I,
aback whenever she
I do
said
remember
shit
at
was one
the
o'clock.
very beginning. I definitely thought the witching hour was specifically from midnight to 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Okay. You might be right. I watched a Bergman film that talked about it one time, and I thought it was around 3, but what I don't know. Maybe the Swedes and the Californians look at the witching hour different. Who knows? But
I
yeah,
mean,
dude picks up
I,
Jamie Lee Curtis,
I mean,
and
I
then they're in bed in
guess,
the next scene together.
I guess at midnight on the West Coast, it would be 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So yeah. Anywho, yeah. I mean, if I picked up Jamie Lee Curtis, I would definitely try to be in bed with her and like as soon as possible, especially 40 something years ago, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that's quite a bit ago. Yeah, so yeah, the radio lady is one of our main characters, and she has this like over the radio flirtation with the weatherman, which I guess is key because he tells her about the fog. Um, it kind of comes in that first night, and I think somebody gets killed off. But yeah, mysterious fog, and like they kind of like creep in from that. So unfortunately, we don't see near enough of this fog and the killers within it. The
Yeah.
silence is very telling of Joey's thoughts on the movie.
I don't remember really anything almost until the end of the movie. So yeah, just yeah, and I probably if the Cowboys Niners game wasn't coming on, I might have tried to rewatch it, but
Okay.
yeah, some of us weren't off today, so I didn't get a chance to rewatch it this afternoon either.
So like the radio lady's son goes out on the beach. It looks like he spotted a coin. He goes up and he finds a little piece of wood that came off of a boat. Shows it to his mom. She thinks it's pretty weird. I was really annoyed. There's this whole sequence like where the town mayor and her assistant are like about to unveil this statue for the town's 100th anniversary, and it has this hazy look, and I just was very annoyed by that. As usual, crappy movie, but pretty coastal landscape shots, right? Right.
I mean, yeah, you got to get that nature porn in there.
Um, it didn't even really dawn on me, but early in the movie, the priest, like, apparent, he just randomly finds like his like grandfather or father's journal in the wall, and like he's reading this whole thing about like the founders of the town like caused this ship to wreck because they were going to set up this leper colony, and I can't feel real. I mean, I kind of understand that they wouldn't want lepers moving in nearby.
Yeah, I mean, were we still making leper colonies in like the late 1880s? Like,
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess we don't even know when this movie's taking place, but yeah, 100 years before that. That was a pretty sweet shot of her going down to her little I didn't realize at first that her radio station was in the lighthouse, but yeah, she goes down and works the lighthouse and does the radio station. And I didn't actually notice this until I did the rewatch, where like the wood of the ship starts like spurting out water or whatever, and then like this other piece of wood like combusts and like catches on fire, and she has to spray it with the fire extinguisher. So a little bit of a thrill there that for some reason I totally missed the first time I watched through this. Um, Boat victims appear to have been, oh, that's right, because the weatherman says like, hey, those mariners out there, be careful of that fog, and the fog takes them over. Yeah, that's who gets killed in the opening fog scene is the all the guys on that boat or whatever. And they discover
Yeah,
dead
yeah.
bodies, and it looks like they've been underwater far longer than they have. I'm not sure how ghosts killers would cause that, but yeah, that's a thing. And that brings us to the 30 minutes left in the movie. So I guess a lot can happen because a lot hasn't happened up to this point. Um,
You ain't
well,
wrong.
a lot of cool fog effects I thought with it like coming up under the door, and then like there'd be like these houses that are kind of on the side of hills, and it would like the fog would wrap around them. So I thought that was all cool. Although I think the worst performance was the weatherman whenever like the radio lady's like, "Hey, the fog's coming in." And he's like, "Yeah, it should be right out my door. What's the big deal?" And she's like, "Get out of there." And he's just like, "Huh? We must be playing a joke." And yeah, he gets killed off. He's a dumbass.
No, not
Um,
everyone. People are dumb in horror movies. We've established that.
yeah. The hook that some of the Ghost Mariners were using kind of reminded me of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yep, I can see
Um,
that for sure.
I got a kick out of the fact that the fog floated up to the telephone lines and cut said telephone lines, so the radio
Yep,
lady could not talk to the sheriff.
that's
Quite
very
convenient for
strong.
the fog.
Very strong fog.
How does this lady know where the fog is going? Like, do you recall that scene where like she's like, "Everyone, head up to the North Church. The fog is doing this, it's that." But she's like all the way down on the coast, so how on earth would she know where the fog's at in the town? I
I,
didn't get
I,
that
I
at
would
all.
assume that because she was in a lighthouse and would be way above and could see, that she would be able to direct. Maybe not specifically to that degree with those street names and such, but
Mhm.
I do feel like it's because she was just supposed to be at such a high vantage point.
But the remember whenever she's actually going to the lighthouse and it's like down on the side of this cliff?
Not particularly.
There's a cool shot that showed that. That's the main reason I remember it. But yeah, I don't think she was at a high vantage point at all. So I think they flubbed that quite badly in my opinion.
Hey, look, it was the '80s, man. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Oh,
The Ghost Mariners with their spooky eyes, that was pretty cool, I guess.
yeah, and then they randomly find a big giant gold cross.
Yeah, in the wall that has something to do with his the priest's ancestor, so they're able. Oh, because
They
didn't they
stu-
like steal that from
they
the
took
the
all the
ship?
gold off the ship and like melted it into a cross.
Something, and I think they used their gold to like finance like building the town and stuff. So that's a whole thing that they just kind of throw in here to justify having a fog movie with ghosts. Um, the radio lady, she starts climbing on the roof of her lighthouse as the ghosts are chasing after her. You're not lying with the whole gold cross defeating the ghost things, but yeah, and then everybody gets to head out, and it's a good old time. But the priest's like, "Hey, I should have died because I'm an ancestor of one of these guys." And so, yeah, the ghosts show back up and kill him. And that's the end of the movie, The Fog.
The fog.
It was
Yeah, my
very
brain is
average.
my brain is very much in a fog about that movie. Yes, very average. I think is a very
Yeah, very
apt
forgettable.
description, which is
Um,
sad for an early Carpenter movie,
yeah, this was probably
especially
better than
with
The Blob, but I think The Blob might actually be more memorable. So it's the
especially
same
seeing
kind of
as
thing.
it's him and Jamie Lee Curtis. Like,
Yeah, she seemed kind of like an afterthought in this, even though this did come out after Halloween.
I mean, this is around the time she's building up, becoming the Scream Queen. So
Hmm.
look at
Um,
that. That's the third movie we've watched with Jamie Lee Curtis on this show.
Yep. Knives Out,
Oh, fourth
Halloween,
movie,
Prom Night,
and then
and
Halloween.
The Fog. Yeah, I said that one. So
Oh
like
yeah, and then the fog. Yeah,
four. But yeah, I gave this. I'd stick with a three. I didn't hate it, but it was very unremarkable.
I gave it a 2.5, like literally exactly average.
Okay, right now we're gonna head into our next movie, and then no break necessary. I don't think. Let's try to. We'll see if we can even make this episode 90 minutes. I don't even know where we're tracking after that, so I might be totally lying my ass off. But yeah, this
That
next
would be
movie
funny.
is gonna either have you shaking your head or laughing hysterically, and I have a feeling that Joey was shaking his head at this one. You want to read about the plot synopsis to Identity?
Yeah, sure. Um, this is from the Wikipedia, not Wikipedia,
Mm-hmm.
but the Wikipedia. Um,
The Wikipedia. Yep.
Identity is a 2003 whodunit mystery thriller film directed by
Ooh.
James Mangold, starring
Mm.
John Cusack, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, Alfred Molina, hey Peter, Clay Duvall, and Rebecca De Mornay. It is loosely based on Agatha Christie's 1939 whodunit, And Then There Were None. The film follows 10 strangers in an isolated hotel who are temporarily cut off from the rest of the world and are mysteriously killed off one by one.
See, James Mangold made bad movies before he did Logan.
Didn't he also do
Did a lot.
Johnny Cash movie?
Yeah, he did that right after this. Um,
That's a much better movie.
yes, it is. And Logan's not a whole lot better than this.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm not a Logan fan. You know, you didn't catch that little blow I threw early.
All
Yeah,
right,
Logan's
we're not going
overrated.
to get distracted by talking about Logan. I don't need my roommate to pop up out of the room and try to kill you through the through Skype.
A bunch of Wolfie fans. Um, okay, so
Oh, but you know that makes sense because you hate Wolverine. Like you just hate Wolverine, so that makes sense.
I don't hate Wolverine. I just think the X-Men work better as a team dynamic when it's not just one guy with knife hands running the show and not making fun of my favorite character, Cyclops.
Counter argument. I do agree with the whole team thing and not everything needs to be about Wolverine, but
Mhm.
Cyclops a bitch.
He's a bitch in the movie. In the show, he's good.
No, period, point blank. Not James Marsden is a bitch. Cyclops is a bitch.
He's a Boy Scout, so Boy Scout mentality, leader. Um,
Not
yeah,
willing to
Days of
do what
Future
it
Past is
takes.
good with Wolverine. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, this movie. Yeah, let's get into the notes because then it's gonna probably fall apart. Opening credits definitely shows all the evidence you need of what's about to happen, but clearly we don't know how to put these pieces together quite yet because we're getting introduced here. But the capital of South Carolina is Columbia.
I did not know that. I'm glad they told me.
Yeah, I don't. That was like the most random little bit of dialogue there that connects deeply with us. But yeah, we're introduced to this like Bates Motel situation. It's a dark and stormy night. Were you ever on board with this movie, or was it just the end where it kind of you lost?
Um
Where did it lose
so
you?
I was very interested in the beginning with
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
with Dr. Cox or whatever walking in with the hurt lady, and then it goes back and shows us what happened, and you've got John Cusack trying to like a motherfucker to act like he's this hard dude.
Yes, that's true.
And then Ray Liotta shows up, and I'm like, all right, well that's the hardest dude in the room now. Like I don't know exactly where it lost me, um, but just somewhere when it was like we should all stay in this room, then we can't get killed by the killer, and then no one stays in the room, and I'm gonna be real. And we'll get to all of this in a minute, but since there's two twists, the first one is kind of telegraphed. and I'm actually a little mad that I missed it because I was
Hmm.
more focused on what ended up being the second twist, which
Hmm. Hmm.
I never said anything, but I just thought in the back of my head I was like that's what it's going to be, and it was. So, but
I
still,
kind of enjoy this movie because I don't like whodunits, and I kind of feel like in a lot of ways this movie is a slap in the face to whodunit fans.
I
Am
mean
I
that's
wrong?
why maybe that's why I didn't like it because like the problem was every time you're like they gave you these
Little nuggets.
they gave you the numbers on the keys which are
Which,
never.
but they were red keychains. That's a red herring, Joey.
Look,
I just thought of that now.
I'm going to take my headset off and I'm going to walk away, and you can do the rest of this by yourself. I'm just kidding. Um,
See,
but
what I think's amusing is the fact this was a lot like the El Royale, but instead of being totally awful, it was hilarious.
oh no, see, but where El Royale was actually good,
Yeah.
and you could tell that they're like, man, we really love old style Tarantino movie and this other stuff, and it's all an homage. Whereas this was just, again, I feel like in 2003, I probably been like, oh my god, this movie was so good. Aww. And now I'm just like, this movie is so just very average, despite the fact that it has
Uh,
a great cast.
mhm. Very corny with the flashbacks but didn't it start out with the one guy bringing his wife into the hotel and he's like, oh, she's bleeding. And then we find out how
Which I don't
um,
understand. He's a doctor. He's he's Dr. Cox. I don't understand why he didn't know what was going on. And he also might
oh,
have,
from Scrubs.
yeah, he might have also got punched out in by Gary Busey in Point Break, maybe, but because he doesn't have
But yeah,
respect for his elders.
so they ended up on the side of the road because this like reformed prostitute threw her shoe or hook or heel out in the road, so they ran over that and blew a tire.
Which is
Um,
absurd that they blew a tire on a high heel.
Um, we flash to what John Cusack's character, who is like the driver for this like actress or whatever, and the mom for the little boy who's in the back, who they're broken down because of the blown out tire. Like she does this whole thing with her hands. So I'm like, I think this is telegraphing something. I would not be surprised if she ended up as a burst of blood here in a few seconds because she's gonna get hit because she's in the middle of the road, and yep, that's what always happens, right?
Yep, in a monsoon.
Yep, yep.
Like
No,
it,
no, I don't think it was raining quite yet.
no, no,
It
no.
rains a
It
little
was.
later.
I
Really?
thought it was already raining. I'm pretty sure because she went out there to like hold the umbrella or whatever.
Oh, maybe, maybe so.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
Um,
because I remember
yeah,
thinking when they were in the car and he's like looking in her when John Cusack is looking in the bag for the battery for his spoiled ass actress, I'm like, bitch, it is pouring down rain. Why aren't you handing the bag to her?
mhm. Um, so yeah, they all end up at the hotel or the motel at some point. I'm not sure how far away it is, but yeah, they get there. Um, the manager kind of has it out for this prostitute, former reformed prostitute lady, because the plot says so. Um, hey, it's an Indian burial ground reference. I guess they can throw that in at some point.
Oh yay, yeah, that's what we need. More Native American burial grounds.
Yeah, John is very savvy for this professional driver as he does a great job stitching the mom up. Room 6 turns into room 9. Dun dun dun! I don't think it
Nice.
matters. 69. Ray Liotta shows up and his prisoner is Jake Busey. I got quite a kick out of the fact that Ray Liotta is staring at the reformed prostitute's butt as she is getting her snack out of the vending machine.
I
Sounds like it.
mean, and it's kind of like that's what Ray Liotta does, right? I mean, Amanda Pete's a pretty nice looking lady, so
The actress, okay, so this gets into our first kill where the actress is like, hey, I need to go find a cell phone signal. So she uses her shower curtain to go in the monsoon rain to find a cell phone signal. You would think that this motel would have landlines. I guess that's I'm just
Uh,
thinking
the,
of that now. But
the landlines were. Remember when they first brought him in? They first brought the lady in. The rain fucks up the landlines. It gets
oh,
the
of course.
Yeah, it gets bad
How
signal
could I
during.
forget that?
Yeah, but they don't have cable. They just have regular TV with rabbit ears, but have a laundromat and a full out fucking kitchen and restaurant, but no cable.
Um, okay, yeah. So she goes out. She kind of gets killed, I guess, and they find her head in a dryer. Dun, dun, dun. Um, let's see. Other setting in this office where oh, that's right. Okay, so we flash to this other situation that was kind of teased off the top, where these guys are all around a table. We have Alfred Molina. He has this patient that they want to bring in because they're having like a rehearing or something before the guy gets executed, something like that.
Yeah, they found new evidence or something, and so like at the
Oh,
0 hour,
journal. That's
yeah, the journal was like misevidenced or misplaced or something. So at the 0 hour, they're trying to get together to determine if they're going to still execute this guy who had like murdered 5, 6, 18 people, some amount of people.
We have this couple that's brought in the mix, and they're all about the drama. So they like start bickering at each other. Uh, got this baby mama drama, and then she's not even pregnant, and she locks herself in the bathroom. And while boyfriend's outside, gets distracted and gets killed. So they find him bloodied up in a room. So that happens.
Yep.
Let's see.
Um,
Jake Busey runs away, but ends up at the same place, which like I noticed, but like I guess I should have thought more of that at the time, but I didn't.
yeah, and then they like beat the shit out of him. So some police brutality from the ex cop and the current cop.
Um, they find out the manager of the hotel kind of just is squatting there, and like he showed up one day, and the actual manager was dead, so he just took up the reins because that's something you do.
Yeah, because he was broke and he needed money, so he just started living there and working there and et cetera, et cetera.
And we flash back to that room with the court hearing thing, and we're introduced to this guy that's insane, and we're kind of the wheel starts spinning on the fact that this whole hotel motel scenario death game is playing out in his head.
Yeah,
Death by baseball bat to Jake Busey. I thought that was hilarious. I think that was my first big laugh. I'm sure there'll be
that was
more to come.
just absurd. Definitely felt like something out of like Freddy Krueger or something. Um, but
They keep going on and on about these silly keys, which doesn't amount to much.
yep. And
John
then
Cusack. Oh, go ahead.
and then we're about to yeah, let's say John Cusack tells the girls to take the kid and get the fuck out, and then there's a
Mhm.
car bomb.
Yep, car explodes. No particular reason, just for the sake of the plot. Then at that point, I think all like the different bodies from all over the place disappear. The mom, even though she's
It,
fine, dies.
I think that was right after the truck where the manager tries to leave and he accidentally runs somebody over.
Yeah, the doctor guy you're making fun of
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah, yeah. And then that's when he tells all the girls to get out, and then there's like an explosion. Yeah.
Um, we find out that all of them have the same birthday and their names have to do with states. And then it pretty much spells out this whole prisoner thing because he thinks he's John Cusack, but really all these are different personalities in his head, split style, just many years earlier.
And nowhere near as good.
Um, yeah, I could agree with that. So the killer has to kill the killer in his head in order to avoid being executed. Yeah. Interesting
Yes.
premise, to say the least. They finally show that Ray is also a prisoner with his little flashback. So much rain. John Cusack kills Ray, and who also gets shot in the process. The surviving girl, which is the reformed prostitute, she said that she always wanted to go back home to Florida and tend the beautiful, beautiful soil. And as she is digging in the ground, the kid shows up because it was the kid all along. Da, da, da! And yeah, he kills her. And there's a ridiculous montage of the kid doing all these insane murders, which makes no sense and is quite hilarious. And I enjoyed laughing at that quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that was not an enjoyable kind of like it never crossed my mind that was supposed to be funny. And even with your like, yeah, this is kind of no, it was just no. I think going back through it now, I was I was kind of with it up until about the point where we find out Homeboy was a squatter, and then immediately into this is all in Homeboy's head, and then I was just like, okay, lame, really lame.
Um,
And
the
then
whole Busey getting the baseball bat in his throat at that point, like I just started laughing and it just kind of kept laughing throughout. So yeah, I enjoyed making fun of this movie, where it seems like it had you on board and then started frustrating you.
yeah, I mean, it was just I felt like it was trying too hard to like spin a web and deceive you,
Hmm, hmm.
like way too hard. Um, and it just overall, I just did not think it was super great.
So yeah, the end scene there, with the prostitute in his head being killed. Um, Alfred Alfred Molina, like I didn't know you could actually like remove the prison bars in a cop car or whatever. And so
Yep.
he, even though it's a van, but it looks like a cop car. I anyway, anywho, so yeah, the guy who is now going to be sent to an institution kills him. They crash, and that's the end of the movie because it's yeah. Um, this was recommended to me a while ago, and someone's like, "Yeah, I'm really curious to see what you think of this movie." Because so I had a feeling it was going to have some kind of weird twist that most people wouldn't get along with. Um, and yeah, I thought it was very silly, very tacky, and I mean I didn't hate it, so I gave it a three.
I gave it a 2.5. Um, it was a good cast and there was promise, and then it just shit the bed. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys yesterday.
So yeah, I concur there. I can definitely see where you're coming from, but I thought it was more enjoyable just because I don't have any respects for whodunits to begin with, so it didn't disappoint. I have
All
more
right,
fun with this than Knives Out.
boy, that's mm.
I think
You're
I'm enjoying
entitled to
trolling Joey now.
you're entitled
This
to
is
that
all about
opinion,
trolling.
sir. What did
Oh,
you pick? What did you pick for us from the year 2003, the year that we met, sir?
I've been wanting to watch this for the longest time, and I picked Charlize Theron's Monster from 2003.
I've never seen that, and I've been like, I need to watch this movie.
Yeah,
That
I saw the
that
documentary about the actual lady, but I haven't seen this movie.
oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, there's actually two documentaries about this killer lady. And then Charlize Theron won Best Actress for this
She
role. And
she did.
who else is in this?
Is it
Chick
Jessica
from
Reed?
Casper. Yeah.
So,
All
alrighty.
right.
Well, I've
So
already hit the random number generator about 10 times, and
10
I
times.
yeah, I just
You can't do that.
I can do it as much as I want. I didn't look at it. I just hit the number. Just
Oh, okay.
yeah. I always do it more than once, but I'm not like, oh, here's the number. No, I don't want it. Like at that point, I would just lie and tell you I picked a movie when I didn't spin. Um,
Hopefully that never comes to that. Maybe
no,
after Identity.
maybe after you what?
Maybe after Identity.
It was real funny. We actually mentioned this movie a little while ago.
Oh
It's
yeah,
Walk the Line,
nice. Two Mango films back to back.
right?
Damn, it's fate. Much
It,
happier about this one. Monster and
yes,
Walk the Line.
yeah.
Wow.
I am pretty happy, and we haven't. It's been a year since we've really done, or a little over a year, I think, since we've done something musical. So
Okay.
I don't
My
think we.
category. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, what you got?
Okay. So I was looking at maybe having you pick a Criterion trilogy, but I saw there's not a whole lot there. Maybe that wasn't the direction I wanted to go. So I'm just going to let you pick a Criterion that you've always wanted to check out that you think looks awesome,
Okay.
which I have a feeling it's going to end up being something from Japan, but you don't know. Maybe Joey will surprise us. So
Yeah, I
quite
mean,
open-ended there.
Japan is a good possibility,
Try to pick something
but
I haven't seen.
I
Because
don't know. I mean, I watched more movies from China last year than I think I did from Japan. So
okay.
um,
So yeah,
I mean, you
Criterion
did
you've always wanted to check out that you think is going to be awesome that we both have not seen.
that we both haven't seen.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
I will try to make that, but you have seen way more than me, and that may be hard to accomplish.
I don't know. You kind of target different movies than I do, so I think you might be okay.
I mean,
I
yeah,
have a
but
ta- I have a tagged list of all the Criterions I've seen, so you can easily check what I have and have
okay,
not seen.
I'll check that out. But specifically a criterion, not necessarily something that they're featuring on the channel, an actual criterion.
Yeah, an actual spy number that you're like, man, I've always wanted to see that. That looks awesome, and hey, Justin has not seen it either.
Um, can I pick from things that were on laser?
Sure,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
Do you have
Cool.
something in mind from Laser?
No, I just know that there was some good stuff on there. And
Okay.
I have to go and
Yeah.
research. I'm just gonna pick Pulp Fiction. I'm just kidding.
We have both seen that many times,
Yeah,
so
I was expecting
unfortunately.
you didn't. I gave you Tarantino and you didn't pick it, you jerk.
Yep. All right. So if you'd like to ask us any questions, you know what to do. Just hit hit us up at the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast at gmail.com. You can easily get to that email address on our Facebook page, which we neglect. But maybe if you start the conversation up there, we'll definitely respond to you.
Yes, and speaking of that, actually, give me 1 second because I'm not prepared at all. Da, 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 da. So, in the best worst movies group on the Facebook, I did post our year in review movie list, and John Pritchard did comment. It was the first comment we had in a while. So I don't understand, Mr. Pritchard, what you had to say here. You said there wasn't a top 20. Not sure that there was a top 10. I don't know if you didn't watch the whole thing, if you were just trying to be a troll, if you didn't agree with our top 20, like you were saying that was so bad that there wasn't even enough movies to make like a full top 10 or something. I'm not sure, but I promise you there were 40 movies. There was 20 to 11 from both of us, and then we took turns doing 1 through 10.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure exactly what you meant there, but hopefully, you'll go and check it out if you hadn't and see all of the countdown, or
Yeah,
someone
drop your
else
own
can come
list.
in and tell
Well,
us maybe,
we'd love.
oh yeah, please drop a list. And we'll discuss it. I would love that.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Hit us like he said at the email, the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast at Gmail, at the Facebook page. Maybe I'll be smart and start us a Twitter.
So Joey, why do we do this show?
Because we love talking about movies.
Especially whenever I get to troll Joey about stuff he doesn't like that totally goes in the face of what we watched tonight. I'm not sure if that made any sense. But anyways, good night, everybody.
Go Vikings. I mean, Cyclops is a bitch.
Oh, and we're under the 90-minute mark.
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
Nobody about you feeling? Spirit is something. I think this just might be my masterpiece.